defensive ability that got them here, that got them drafted, maybe higher than they were initially projected to. And they most importantly know that if they want to get any minutes for the Mavs this year, it is going to be because they are playing hard every single possession at the defensive end.
Turnover and a run-out jam for Jaden McDaniels. Olivier Maxence Prosper was a real riser, by the way, in terms of the draft process and the draft preparation process, elevating from what a lot of people thought would be a second-round pick into someone that some mock drafts thought he might even crack the top 20. Ultimately, he was picked at 24 when Dallas did some draft night maneuvering.
Yeah, he's got skills on both ends of the floor. You mentioned those defensive numbers. Opponents shooting 24% when he's the nearest defender, 26% on jump shots. That is number one of the entire draft class last year.
Very
Top
nice.
person. And on the offensive end, when he went to Indiana and worked out for their workout, they have something called ringing the bell. It's when they put players, they have them shoot for three-pointers around the entire arc, and if you shoot 20 of 25, you ring the bell. He was one of just a handful of prospects who did that. So not only the defensive end and that long wingspan, he's 6'7" with a 7'1" wingspan and a 35-inch no-step vertical, but he can hit that three. And as you mentioned earlier, drive to the bucket when he needs to.
And he can draw fouls.
You know what's interesting about Omax is all three of us did draft prep, and we each individually circled him as somebody we loved, even though we knew the Mavericks didn't even have a pick to get him, but hoping, just in hopes that you could get a player like that, and they were able to pull it off.
Yeah, there's a pretty compromising video of me reacting to the news that they acquired Omax. There's maybe saying some words that I shouldn't have on camera during our live stream on draft night, but luckily that video will never again see the light of day.
I'm sure
I've heard about it. Yeah, I've heard about that video. I would like to see it. I've only heard about its existence. Jaden Hardy driving, losing the ball out of bounds. Again, officially it's a Towns block on that play. Again, we'll have a feature on Jaden Hardy coming up at halftime. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Got Luka back into the game here. Came back a little bit ago in the second quarter. Lively, Hardy, Omax, Grant Williams. Hardy's in a late clock situation. Going to have to bail out the possession with a drive. Didn't touch rim. Lively tipped it up. It did draw iron, but ultimately it's collected by the Timberwolves with Nickeil Alexander-Walker fighting Jaden McDaniels for a three-pointer. Lead is 26 for Minnesota. Luka, a step back check. So many times we've seen Luka hit that. Last season, Luka connecting on just over 34% of his threes en route to being second in the NBA in scoring at 32.5 points a game. There's Lively with a block inside. Fast break, 2-on-1. And Lively trying to follow it home, but there was a foul call prior to that with Hardy hitting the deck. It was Hardy and Grant Williams running a 2-on-1. And Hardy's fouled by Jaden McDaniels. And we'll see the second-year guard Jaden Hardy on the free throw line. A year at G League Ignite. And then drafted by Dallas, technically drafted by Sacramento, traded to Dallas 37th in 2022.
I think if you redid that draft, he would be lottery-level pick in terms of his play. And, of course, great plays on both ends of the floor there by Lively, getting the block and then running the floor to follow up. You know, you see him, whenever you see him, his shadow is there, and that's Tyson Chandler. Even when they're scrimmaging, they had the blue-white scrimmage Sunday that you and I were able to watch, Mark. Tyson's over there on the sideline prowling, giving him tips and tricks, and it's really good to see Lively learning and growing from Tyson, a champion.
McDaniels is out of the game with 3 fouls. Hardy, last year, in 48 games, averaged nearly 9 points in 15 minutes per game. Late season numbers were outstanding for Hardy. Last 16 games of the year, averaged 21 minutes a game and about 13.5 points per game for Jaden Hardy. Down the sideline, Luka looks off the defense, finds Grant Williams, looking to beat the shot clock buzzer. Troy Brown collects the rebound. Williams made the first 2 threes for Dallas in this game. If you're just tuning in, the Mavericks missed their first 14 three-point attempts in the game. They have made 5 of their last 7. Here is Gobert, and Gobert going to work inside, and this is...
That'll be number 4.
Yeah, 4 fouls on Lively. Well, it is trial by fire in preseason game number 1 for Derek Lively II. depending on which recruiting service you looked at when he came out of high school in Pennsylvania, he was rated as either the number 1, number 2, or number 3 recruit in the high school class of 2022 before going on to his one season at Duke.
You mentioned the fouls, trouble he had in college. He had 92 fouls in 34 games, playing 20 minutes a game. But he did have 82 block shots, and he was 97th percentile as the roll man on pick and roll. So you really want to see that. He's already started to develop a chemistry with Luka, knowing where he is. Some of the interesting aspects of that is you can't bail out on a play. You never know when you're going to get that ball from Luka. He's starting to learn that sometimes, just like that, you're going to have opportunities.
Especially if he's not when it works out that way. Yeah, when you're talking about it and it happens.
Yeah, you got to anticipate that Luka pass, especially when he's not looking at you.
There's a replay of that lively jam from Luka Doncic.
Just drawing Gobert in with his eyes, and Lively just comes soaring down the lane. You see Kyle Anderson try and bump him there, try and give him a little tag to slow him down. You're not slowing down Derek Lively when he gets a head start like that.
Luka loves playing with a rolling center. We've seen it with Slovenia, with Mike Tobey. He doesn't just want to penetrate the lane and either score on his own or spread it out to somebody in the corners or up top above the break. He wants to have a roll guy that he can do that nice little pick and roll game and either lob or fake the lob and get to the hole himself. And so having somebody like Lively there gives your offense an added dimension.
I hope everybody's enjoying the Mavericks and the Timberwolves. This is the second quarter. We got final minutes left. Please hit the like button, subscribe, leave your comments, share the video, and please support the channel by donating. You can use Cash App or PayPal. The link and the information are in the description. Have a great rest of your week. Stay safe. Let's get it.
Takes some guys a little while to learn the dance steps. Dwight Powell is so good at that over the years. Teaming up with Luka on that pick and roll, and so hopefully he can endow Derek with a bunch of
Up the baseline. Of the 46 points scored by Dallas, almost half of them by Luka, 22 in the first half. Drive by Kyle Anderson, starting his 10th year in the NBA, 4 years with the Spurs, 4 with the Grizzlies. This will be season 2 for him in Minnesota. Nickeil Alexander-Walker off target on a three-point try. We're in the last minute of the first half. Another pick and roll involving Luka and Derek Lively the second. Hardy, Omax, Grant Williams, rest of the group out on the floor. Luka, Trino, right over Rudy Gobert.
He sees that big man, and he's like, you ain't getting any of this. I know exactly what to do.
25 for Luka. He led the FIBA World Cup with Slovenia, averaging over 26 points per game this past summer. Here you got a loose ball. It's dug out here by Shake Milton, that is. Into the shot clock, Kyle Anderson. Almost banked in a three. Lively with a rebound, and the Mavs will play for the final shot of the first half. The first half in which they started off ice cold. They missed their first 14 threes. Things have improved here in the second quarter. They've trimmed what was... Here's Luka.
That's where he likes to shoot from.
Off the rim, you hear the crowd at Etihad Arena oohing and awing, thinking something special was about to happen, but the Luka launch was off target. He had 25 in the first half, and the first half of the preseason is done. Minnesota Timberwolves 66, Dallas Mavericks 49 in Abu Dhabi. We're back for a feature about Jaden Hardy right after this. Stay tuned.